Oh, that's an even cooler way to do this, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to make a couple of notes to myself. Afterlife. That's different between life and live, but what's different between live and live? Well, it's good. You combine the two. I mean, I'm alive and I'm doing this. A through G. And you know what? I'm not going to specify no sharps or flats. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, no sharps or flats, because if somebody was to ask for some, that would be an opportunity to go to the piano. You know, I don't have to limit myself. I have multiple abilities. This guy's music noisy. I think the fan will cover it though, and what I'm doing, hopefully. So I will apologize for anybody that sees this after the fact. I'm sorry you're seeing this. I'm sorry you're seeing it after the fact. Just kidding. But the idea that I have, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And there was an option when I finished the previous one just moments ago to go new stream. I just didn't know if that would say omit this one and start it new. I didn't want to do that. I have to losing my organ one just to kind of see how it's kind of growing and evolving, but each one's its own. And then also might pick up on my change settings back too. So but make sure I have the live chat on. This could be very interesting if it has some engagement. All I ask is for at least one, at most 5, I think would be a good number. Here is one. And the idea behind this, I mean, YouTube, so, the idea behind this is, and the viewer left it, like, I don't care. I only want to know about the idea in front of it. Well, I think that it's actually pretty obvious from the title, to be quite honest. Could be wrong, but I think so. I also got to make sure that I'm not going to pull the, well, I'll pull it out because it's fully charged. It's easy to trip on that thing. Oh, 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 oh. I've got a big pillow underneath me, but the couch is just seeming extra low lately. Either that or my knees are just more easily getting tight. And also, it is sinking. Out of curiosity, this is an interesting question. I've never thought to ever ask anybody in my life, and I know it's kind of a mixy question and this and that, but whatever you want to call it. But I'm kind of curious. Does anybody know anybody who? I hate to say this, but some people did, so some people must passed away on the Titanic. When I said sinking, suddenly I'm thinking that. Anyway. Take these we still got time. Yeah, dude, goes for my favorite. Just gonna check something quickly. Too bad I can't invite Alan. Or is your name? Watch somebody come in later and say, "My name's Alan. How do you know?" I'm thinking of somebody else, but no reason why it can't also be you. Um, have anybody here? Nope. Okay, next. Have anybody here? Have anybody here? Just kidding. Yes, kidding. Promise, maybe. That thing right here. It does kind of remind me. And I'm glad I'm looking back at this because I knew what I was writing in the moment, but it's an example of one reason why I don't do. Well, I don't like to songwrite all that when I do it to begin with. Has it really only been 5 minutes? But then, of course, there was the previous one, which was only 14. So, anywho, I don't like to usually do it in a book because because making it out afterwards is a bit tricky. Plus, then I don't hear the tune. So I'm just going to work with another idea I had until we get somebody in here to work with the idea of this one. When you're addicted, that's the thing. You can use the same chords with a different style too. Like this is essentially the same chords as that one. Actually, I don't remember exactly what. I think I remember the order, and I think this was it. When you're addicted to the screen, also please be addicted a little to me, maybe. But I'm curious your thoughts about how it works with your energy and productivity. I should teach him how to strum, and really does he can hum. Instead of picking notes, even if they're not mine, I gotta say a sound that I don't like. But when I hum, it seems that there's something I wanna say, but I don't say it. Maybe I can say it anyway. But really, it was just humming. Are you drumming? We have FOMO. Fear of missing out. Sometimes I can be in a song. You can tell when it's instrumental. You might get mental, wondering what does mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just filler. So yeah. Well. I'm going to do an interesting exercise. I'm going to do an interesting exercise within an interesting exercise that just came to mind, because sometimes things just kind of pop in there and it's like, sure, why not? And sometimes that is a good thing. And yeah, I stop for a moment and ask myself, is this a good idea? Yeah, I think it is. So I'll do it. And I'm very curious. Since nobody is here right now, in the chat or anything like that, I'm going to think of some people that I've known in my life, which is kind of a bit of a theme that I've been experiencing lately. And I'm going to think about writing a song about them. And when I have feelings like this, I'm just try to, think through my thoughts. And this is a way that I organize them sometimes, or I kind of, as I'll do what I call an alphabet game. So starting with A, and I mean, this is the first time I've done it. It's the first time I've done it kind of in a musical theme, but starting with A, since there's, like I said, nobody here at the moment, and I want to do this, and I'm not ready to wrap up yet. That's another option too. If somebody tunes in, I don't want to have to say it twice, and energy is precious, but whatever. Thinking if somebody tunes in and I'm struggling to think of one, I could say, if it's not you, is there somebody that you know of that has a name that starts with A? Tell me a bit about them. I don't know. Just to kind of keep the flow going as much as we can here. I'm struggling. I am kind of thinking of one that came to mind a couple times recently, but I don't mean to sound mean or whatever. I don't know if I want to write a song about it. And actually, I did an improvised thing on here a while back, and she kind of worked her way into that one in my creativity. So I'm going to say that's good enough. I am thinking about somebody else with the same first name, actually, who has come up a couple times recently. And I learned a song the other day, although I'm not ready to do it yet because I'm not that familiar with it. And I'm just trying to decide where I want to post it and when. Well, I mean, there's at least a couple options, although this is probably the best one. Um, but she or it's a deep song. It's a deep song, and I might just have to skip a. It's weird. I honestly can't think of someone. And even though nobody's here watching right now, I want to keep the flow of this going. So, like I say, I don't want to spend too much time because then when you skip ahead, it can be easy to skip ahead more than you mean to, or then you might miss something good. So I don't want to have to make you do that. So, um, somebody instantly came to mind when I say B, but I feel like that could be kind of a hard one, maybe. Take it. But I'm gonna try something here. Since this is the way we're doing it right now. If I can't think of anybody else, I know this. I don't want to trigger anybody. Maybe I should just do it to myself because I don't know. No, I mean, and here's the thing, and I'm being minded. I guess I kind of went a little iffy, but here's the thing: if somebody is triggered, we can work with each other on that in the comments and kind of help find the way out of the trigger because it's no fun. It's no fun, and I get that. I mean, sometimes it's amusing, sometimes it's abusing. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. But anyway, I'm thinking of three people now. Two of them have the same first name, ironically, again. Um, could this be a way, this exercise also of kind of healing, perhaps? That's an interesting question. There's a part of me, though, in doing this, I'd want the parts about them, even if maybe it is meant to just be for me, certain ones. I'd want the parts about them to be able to be heard by them and get to them, to be heard. Um, and I'm just thinking, like under this category, under this letter, um, one I lost touch with in my 20s when I moved to where I live now, and and we kind of kept in touch with his mom for a while. She's moved. Her number has changed. She probably doesn't have a cell phone. Um, and I don't know if his number has changed, if he only has a cell phone. I mean, this was in the 80s and 90s, but maybe people didn't have those as much. So it may have been, I almost remember it mounted on the wall. Um, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to, I mean, the title is somewhat self-explanatory, and there's a very small comment that I put there as well. In the meantime, in the viewer left, so I'll keep doing what I was doing. I guess some people might be like, "Don't tell me what you're doing, just do it." Maybe they're a little bit picky or sensitive to the process or whatever. Or I don't know. Anywho, and like I said, this kind of element of it really wasn't my intent when I started the video, but and then the other one isn't easy to reach. Actually, I think it's the wife's number that we have. and it's somebody in my family, blended family. Ironic, I was thinking about somebody else in it today, and that the song they sang at a wedding, and that almost some of the details around that almost inspired me to do a podcast, but I didn't. And families can be messy sometimes, so that's a bit of a uncertain one. And then another one is older. I have not been able to reach his wife. They actually, I don't want to get too many details, but I don't really know how I'd reach him. And he's older, so his he may have a cell phone now, but I don't have it. He may or may not. I don't think we would have the same home phone, and I could be wrong, but he might not be on technology. I know I shouldn't be ageist like that, but I mean, one of them is not that old. He's only in his 50s or 60s, but I just sense that he wouldn't be. Kind of both of them. And then the other one is uh, probably 70, no, probably closer to 80, 85, to be quite honest, because I think they were in their 60s when I was a teenager, and I'm in my 30s. So, um, nothing is coming. Nothing is coming to do that. So I will go to C. Something did kind of come up with C, and it reminds me of one of my past videos a few weeks ago, a month or so ago. But there's maybe a reason that I don't want to do it. I'm glad I remembered that. Or I could do it and just not say her name. Don't drag it on anymore. I may be a dragon, but that is I'm okay with your skill. Though I'm in heaven, I still put on the shows, still put on the wigs and all the fancy clothes. I think you should too. Just gotta find your way. Doesn't matter who you are, or if you're gay. Say what I mean. From me. Well, that was rather interesting. That was rather interesting. And has only ever happened twice in my life, in my adult years. And I just have to quickly go upstairs anyway. So hopefully, I'm just going to put a time stamper. 19 mark, be back in 10. I know it's very specific, but I do feel like it's going to be less than 10. And yeah, but yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if I should, if I ask me in the comments, I guess, if you're curious. Otherwise, I'll know. And that was interesting. Did I mention it was interesting? I think I maybe forgot. It was interesting. Just kidding. Just checking the charge level too, because I know this thing can drop fast. I'm not seeing it at the angle I'm standing on. Okay, standing at. Okay, so this might be a good opportunity. Oh, somebody was briefly there. Briefly there. That's the thing. I hate to leave the screen, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do for a moment, right? So, oh shoot. That's weird. Thought the power bar turned off, so I tried to turn it back on, but then I had to do it again because it was still off. This does that too. Anyway, I'll be right back. talk about seeing. Is this the one that has the lure in the title or not? Talk about seeing an interesting sight, interesting movements, interesting delight. And you could tell that the music was quite loud because the movements were quite proud. Because I said something about, I don't know what I said, but I said a couple lines fairly loudly, and somebody dancing in one of the rooms upstairs, that sounds funny, didn't hear me. Didn't hear me. That's the thing. But yeah, the movements are. Oh, I said something about the dogs being weird. And then yeah, I said something, but I don't know. I know it came up. They came up recently. I don't know what the names were. D. I'm on D. I'm on D. It's a good thing it wasn't the next letter because I mean, not to laugh at addictions. But that, maybe I'll do a little bit of a, what do they call it? Not a teaser. I hate to use that word for something like this too, but a little bit of a, and if the person sees it, maybe they're meant to see it. That's the other thing too. I mean, you never know who's going to see your YouTube videos and if they'll be familiar with you. But, part of me thinks if they see it, they're meant to see it. So whoever just tuned in. And other than that, while I'm doing this song, feel free to look at the very short comment in the chat there that I put, and also the title. And you left, so whatever. I just thought, you might be wanting to participate. And if you want to participate, I feel like you should know that stuff. Creative outlet, healing, won't necessarily say I'm past it. Thank you for coming. I was trying to move ahead, and I asked a question. I don't remember how I said it, and maybe I didn't need to mention. But I said, what do you do when someone's thinking sort of way and they're talking to you? He said, sometimes this gets me. It seems like, sorry. He said, a lot of times they don't want to do that. I quickly jumped in because I've been there before. Yes, I've been there before. I just want to end their pain. It goes, no! What I said was insane. He went, no! Never has apologized. Maybe thinks it's now too late. And I'd agree. Yeah, I'd agree. Kind of, sort of. But I know I wasn't wrong. And you shouldn't have done that. No need to show. I did tell me he just wrote it. So yeah, there's that. I don't know what else to say about that one. I don't know if I can think of another D at the moment, oddly. I mean, I've lived for 38 years. You'd think I'll probably think of a bunch after this. I needed to get that out of my system, apparently. Watch, somebody will be tuning in to the last one. A monkey, a monkey. Elvis? No, I don't know him though. But maybe in the style of Elvis. It's funny because we're watching some Who's Line earlier. In the style of Elvis, that's an interesting concept. And see, I guess I could do it whether it's his kind of, his tunes or not. Like it could be like a parody to his tune. Sometimes people do use the tune, but I think I got to be careful in doing that. But the problem with me, and this is why, part of the composition, can also come from you, not just the lyrics, is that I have similar chord patterns for a lot of stuff I do, that especially the stuff I make up. E. I can't think of anyone that starts with an E other than Elvis. No. So I think that if you see this back afterwards and your name starts with an E or any other letter that I've been stumped with thus far, feel free to, in the comments, put a little bit about yourself, what you're comfortable putting, and it will inspire a future song. So be watching the channel. I mean, I could do it in the comments. I might. But I think, this way you can hear it and stuff. I think I'd rather do it in a future video. So, like I say, feel free, good opportunity. I don't do it often, actually. Good opportunity to say, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, as people like to say. I mean, I'm not the only one that does these kind of things, and I'm not the only one who walks across the fire for you. Anyway. And then there's another song. I can't think of it quite at the moment, but I almost do. I almost can. I almost can do. Anywho. I almost can do anywho. F. I'm thinking of one. And yes, it's kind of part of that Macy family, but he was always good. And I could see it happening similar to the other one, kind of, but let's just see. His name was Felix. Was it a cat? Sometimes he lied. Wear a big hat. He liked to create. Something. Back here on that one. Oh, really? He would say as he listened intently. Oh, really? He would say as you went on explaining. Sadly, I don't remember much about him. I only met him a few times. Sadly, I don't pick up much about him. So I'm not thinking of many lyrics or rhymes. But he said, don't let anyone take nothing to be you. I think that's what you should do. G. My dad's name started with G. I could do, honestly, it's dad is kind of what keeps me sometimes from feeling a certain way that kind of came up with the other D name. And I almost want to. But I don't know. And even though I'm imagining to keep the flow and enjoying this, it would be really nice if I could do one for somebody. So, the beyond, whatever else can make it happen, I hope they do. Why do people call them nightmares? Horses call in the night. I think I know why. I think it could be right that people have drama. Watch that media. Wait. their sleep. That's how these things work. Sometimes dreams are random, sometimes they are serendipitous. The words that they say are hard to rhyme with. Lord serendipity, serendipitous. And a rush. You know where that came from? Something that I watched recently. Ooh, that should be me. When they nodded, yes, they wanted. I did a video just the other day about my thoughts about doing Bieber songs. I thought about doing Bieber, so feel free to check them out. But yeah, it's weird. It's almost like I'm a frog. On stage, and I'd be happier for them if I could be too. I think, but it's a struggle. So I still wish that I was them. Anyway. Ooh, boy. Said to the horses I worked with. Ooh, boy. I like how I'm coming up with things like that in these songs. He said to me, from high above. Sounded Hawaiian. Get there, don't be it's a long way. And you don't forget that belt and everything I did that I'm not proud of when you were a kid. See, the Feels one didn't have quite the same feeling or element to it. Not quite. Yes, I wouldn't want to see some of this stuff. It's true. I did, but I didn't. Okay, so that was G. H. I do think of one. Actually. And I think she's popped up on this channel before. Man, it's interesting. I really have lost a lot of loved ones, to heaven and that. And maybe I should think of some living people, but I don't know why. But I mean, it's not like I don't know any or haven't known any, but for some reason, when I'm going through these, I mean, most of the ones I'm thinking of have passed away. I guess that's telling me they're with me. I don't know.